and welcome to the Accounting and Finance Show. My name is Molly and I'm the conference producer. I hope you enjoy the next session.
Welcome to the Coffee Club.
Thanks, Werner. Nice to be with you again, as always.
Yeah, let's do something akin to the Werner and Willem show. Let's try to be radio hosts, shall we? First off, I'd like to just elucidate and illuminate whatever the word might be for this time of the afternoon. Our title, you and I came up with of Elephants and Mice, a time for business model renewal / revolution. Now that second part is easy. Everybody, it sounds like the usual buzzwords, right? But I love how we came up with the title, and I'd love to bring our audience into that loop. Are you okay with that?
Yes, please go for it.
Fantastic. So to you joining us here today, thank you very much for doing so. And Willem and I had this lacquer conversation about the new normal of online engagement. And I sent him a little photograph saying that there's a new development. It's a scary phenomenon in this world of online meetings. And it's that nobody dares speak about the elephant in the Zoom. And then we had a good chuckle and he came back with, what's your favorite new phenomenon?
Well, for me, the big elephant in the Zoom is whenever somebody says, well, can you see my mouse?
That's so Walt Disney, but let's not go there. Perhaps we have Freudian brothers and sisters on the line that might go elsewhere. But anyway, what I also like about elephants and mice is for me, it's introducing a perfect analogy for this beautiful season. It's a generation of transforming to digital and fourth industrial revolution, whatever people call it, and it's this beautiful phenomenon where what we could previously have conceived to be mice in terms of business size, in terms of ideas, can actually scare the traditional elephants, and often does so. What do you like about the elephants and mice analogy?
Well, yeah, I think you've said it, and specifically to our topic, and certainly the most of the accountants that we get to speak to, but not only the accountants, just our clients in general. The moment you start to talk about digital migration and the new way of business, most people, their first reaction is the flee reaction. They just want to run for the hills. So I think it definitely resonates the way you've put it now.
That's great. Now I've when I thought about how to frame our conversation, and also once again for this part of the afternoon and or the day, and whenever you're going to watch it, whether it's at night or whatever, as the audience, please make sure you've got good coffee. Because we certainly relish conversation fueled by good coffee. So I thought about framing it along 3 stories and 3 story themes. The first theme for me is this theme of unhappiness, unhappiness in the world, unhappiness with status quo. The second theme is the theme of perhaps sadness and grief brought about by major changes, which we also experience. And the third theme, I love to work in 3s. It's the brand name 123CY. I just love my 3s. It's this thing of the more things change, the more they stay the same. And what's the golden thread of what has stayed the same throughout tumultuous times? So I think onto the first theme, I'd like to start with half a story. We'll discuss it and then we'll do a closure on the story. It's the story of the unhappy businessman. So the unhappy businessman visited the wise woman to consult her for advice regarding his unhappiness, and without any hesitation, she took him by the shoulders and put him in front of a mirror, and she said to him, "Mr. Unhappy Businessman, what do you see?" He looked in the mirror. He said, "I see my unhappy face." And I'd like to stop there because I love stopping mid-story, like what's going to happen next. But anyway, let's discuss that quickly, Willem, and to your story, to your story as a digital accounting revolutionista. I practiced that a few times before the show. Tell me about the last 4 or 5 years. Let's go back to 2015, 16, 17. You look in the mirror as a man, as a professional, and some unhappinesses arised in you. Tell me about your unhappiness back then with the status quo, and please frame your answer firstly as an accounting professional and secondly as an observer of client experience.
Oh, great, thanks. I love talking about this because for us as a business, making our clients and the people that we interact with happy is front and center of what we would like to achieve as an outcome. But personally, I've always wanted to become an accountant since I can remember. I love being in a very structured environment. I love it when things fit into their boxes and work out. Just like any good cash flow statement would do. And so I've pursued that as a career, and I ended up spending 20 years as an auditor in one of the big 4 accounting firms. And the last of those 11 of those 20 years, I was out of country. I lived and worked in Lagos, Nigeria. And I came back to South Africa with my family, and I was at a crossroads at that point in time. And I asked myself, do I really want to continue working in such a structured environment, being an auditor? Is this really what I want to do for the rest of my life? And I had various reasons for it, but ultimately I came to the conclusion that this is not what's gonna make me happy. The whole idea of just more of the same. I'm looking for something fresh, something new, and a real impactful way in which I can have an impact, a positive impact on the lives of other people, but using my trade and that's what I'm good at as a tool, for doing so. And this is one of the ways in which my path is crossed with that of my current partner, whose name is Murray Barnettson, who himself is also a chartered accountant, more experienced than me, and with his deep skills in the technology side and my love for being more outgoing, we came together and said, hey, what are we going to do differently? And so for us, when we looked in the mirror, we said we want to bring an accounting solution to customers, our clients, that's going to enable them make high quality decisions in no time. And when I look at the clients typically say that they're waiting too long to get information. It's too manual. And so for that reason, we said, well, let's delight our clients with a tech-heavy solution, giving us more time as people to interact with them and really telling them the beautiful story of the numbers that's behind all of that hard work that goes in there.
That's very lekker. You've basically answered my two-pronged framework in one sweep. So well done. I think oftentimes when I have strategic conversations with my clients as business coach, this very same thing of what is the true heart of the business's value proposition, and how to get the decision makers to spend more and more time on continuously improving the value proposition, both in terms of process, technology, and people training and learning, etc. And it's wonderful how your decision has enabled you as what I call a team Dough, or the team at DoughGetters, to start a journey where you can once again continuously improve your ability to do so. Now, Willem, what I want to touch on also, just quickly, we can touch base on this a bit later as well, is what kind of a dashboard measurements have you brought in? Now that you are enabled through tech, through integration, through focus, now that you are more and more able to help your clients do this, you must also be able to do it more and more. So my question to you is, how do you then measure these very, very important value proposition focused things for Team Dough at DoughGetters?
So just like our clients, we believe that no business owner or no business person should have to worry about the mundane side of the business, helping them to measure what's really important. So So that's why being tech heavy in today's world, I think, is so important, because it's one of the ways in which you're getting to that answer much quicker without losing the initiative to make good decisions. For us, the most important thing that we want to measure is the people side. And that I would always like to break into two, because it's not only the people within our business that helps us deliver that beautiful solution to our clients, but it's the clients themselves. So we say that without people, we don't have a business. It's as simple as that. Nothing more to it than that. And so for us, staying in constant contact with our clients and having positive engagement with our people, that's one of the ways in which we can show them that we do really give a damn. And apologies for my strong language, but there's no better way I think we can put it. So through that regular communication, that's the best way we can gauge how well we're doing, because that's when you get feedback in terms of what you are doing well, what you're not doing not so well. And only once you know that are you able to make the necessary tweaks and put that issues front and center of your decision making. Once that's taken care of, the other things actually will fall in place. But things such as growth, if your business doesn't grow, well then what's going to happen with it long term? So growth is measured in various ways, but for us, number of new clients, obviously we look at all the other financial indicators that would indicate that there's growth. If there's growth and you manage that properly and cost effectively, you make profit. And then if you make profit, you can start to rely on well-deserved positive cash flow. And those are all things that I think are very easy for any business person to manage and to monitor. But for us, people, front and center.
That sounds great. And I thought about a new slogan or strapline when you said we give a damn, or to show we give a damn. One can say we're enabled by digital and by 4IR transformation. Before we gave you a puddle, and now we give a dam. So you can actually transcend from a puddle to a dam. So you can give, and it's true, right? We can give more of ourselves, of the human core, of value exchange, because so many of the non-integrated and the cumbersome and the duplicated admin steps, blah blah blah, in the entire process chain are just being simplified, and we do things once and do it properly. And now let's engage as human to human. So great. I think that invites me to then tell part B of the story, where the wise woman was keeping the unhappy businessman in front of the mirror, and he said, I see my unhappy face. She took him to the window and she said, look through, and what do you see? And indeed, he saw people across the street. He saw an elderly person carrying a heavy load with bags, etc. He saw a child falling from a swing, skinning his knee, needing assistance. And I mean, this was exactly what you said now, is the thing of looking through the mirror, or looking through the window, and then seeing actually what the need is there, that thing for customer, client happiness, team happiness, in your case, franchisee happiness, the entire team Dough, sort of expands. And then the wise woman asked the man, the unhappy businessman, so how does that make you feel? He says, all of a sudden I feel better. Why is that? And she said to him, well, when you were looking in the mirror, your vision was blocked by the silver. And I think that's also when you said, for us at Team Dough, meaning you guys, your thing is people happiness front and center. So of course the silver, the cash, the material, absolutely important in conditioned human being. But to say that it's no longer the primary thing, it's the thing that will follow naturally if we look through the window at who needs what we can do well. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. I mean, I think the point of the silver reflecting from the mirror, I think you couldn't have put it better than that. I'm speechless.
That gives me an opportunity to usher in story 2. And it's another favorite of mine, where it's about this once upon a time, in a village far away, there was a girl with a gift for making pots, beautiful brown pots from earth, from clay. So she made the most beautiful brown pot that the villagers had ever seen. It was this prize piece that everybody said, wow, that really is the culmination of what this village can achieve. And everybody looked at it, and it became a monument for the village. And one day when everybody was in the fields working, and mothers and fathers were tending to life and children and animals, etc., a big wind blew through the village. It toppled the table on which the pot was standing, and this beautiful brown pot fell over. It toppled, and it fell on the floor of a hut. It broke into 100 pieces. Everybody rushed back to try to protect the village and their possessions, etc. And she came and she saw this beautiful creation of hers having broken into 100 pieces, and she fell on her knees and she wept. So I'd like to stop the story there again, and let's just reflect quickly on the changes being brought by digitization, 4IR, whatever buzzwords we want to hoy, that's the technical term, into the mix. The sadness, the grief, the apprehension people have in terms of 4IR and going digital and going tech heavy. What's your experience been? You spoke just now about a bit of a resistance or a hesitance to change, but let's also talk about what other emotions and fears, etc., are inherent in people being faced with going digital, going 4IR.
So from a personal perspective, I know what it took me to get where I am in terms of my career, studying for it, qualifying, and building up many years of experience. And after so many years, completely pivoting into something I almost know nothing about at the time when I started was fearful, because I've got this degree certificate. In fact, I've got more than one degree certificate, and most people tend to, I think, want to frame it and put it on the wall and say, hey, look at my trophy. And for me, that was absolutely a pivotal moment, in that I kind of realized at that point that degree certificate tells me that I've got a degree of knowledge in my field, and that I shouldn't rest everything I've got on that 1 or 2 degree certificates. Actually, with all due respect to everybody watching this, that degree certificate means nothing except for that it gave me a key to develop further. And so for me, that was one of the big fears I had to face in getting over myself, really, and saying, hey, look, I'm going to start my career all over again from scratch, but I'm going to use what I've got as best as I can to make a difference going forward. And I can therefore not help but think that every person's got their own fear, their own story that they've got to tell, that might prevent them from basically jumping over to the bright side and going digital.
And just adding on to that, my own conversations, strategic conversations, coaching conversations, it's this beautiful thing where our admin processes, a lot of the processes of life which used to be supported by non-integrated technology are being integrated. It's becoming simpler to do something once and properly. So instead of fearing that the robots are going to come take our jobs away, I think the robots are going to come and take the robotic aspects of our jobs to allow us to be more human. And I think that ushers us in, going into the final straight of your and my coffee club conversation. That ushers us into part B of the story, where after weeping, after being sad, after grieving for what can no longer be, is the old brown pot. Just as our paradigm, the old paradigm can no longer be. The old paradigm can no longer be. She got up, she took a mixture of clay and ochre, and she made a beautiful golden paste with which she carefully and painstakingly put those 100 pieces together to make a brand new pot. And if you envision it, those cracks were then filled with gold, the gold of the ochre and the mud, So she made an even more beautiful pot. And I think we are being called to make something even more beautiful of our own lives, of our immediate communities, where we serve people in companies, etc. We'll take what was old, we break it down, and we make something which is uniquely new. So yeah, from my side, that basically summarizes it. Do you have any parting thoughts before I tell the story of the best business plan?
Yes, absolutely. I think, for me, there's a conflict in many people's minds, and that is, do I or don't I? Do I take the plunge? And that means, there's a mission, and the mission is to really say, how am I going to resolve that conflict? And I think if us as accountants can help our clients deal with that conflict with the proper mission, which is to get them from not being digital to being fully digital, and then see that as an opportunity that, yes, there's robots, yes, there's a fear that they might take the jobs away, but actually, as you said, it can help us become more human, because with all this digitization happening, we can actually get rid of a lot of stuff we used to do, and we can spend more time with each other, face to face, talking about stuff that's really important. But also, it's an opportunity to upskill ourselves, to learn new skills, to become something different. And that's one of the things that really excites me about all of this that's happening.
Fantastic. Thanks, Willem. I'd like to end off with the story of Nasruddin going to the bathhouse, cold, freezing Europe. The attendant gives him crappy service. He says, dirty towel for you, lukewarm water for you. He has a very bad experience, does Nasruddin. On his way out, after a few minutes before freezing himself to death, he gave a gold coin to the attendant, and the attendant was, "Thank you, sir. Looking forward to seeing you again." The next morning, Nasruddin was there. He got the best service he ever received. Steaming bath of water, snacks, tea, brand new fluffy towel. He was there for almost an hour. What a beautiful experience he experienced the next morning. On his way out, Nasruddin paid with a measly little bronze coin. And the attendant said, "Sir, I don't understand. Yesterday you paid me in gold." Nasruddin said, "Aha, my friend, yesterday I paid you for today. Today I pay you for yesterday." And I think the beautiful thing there is, the more things change, the more things stay the same. Whatever technological revolutions, cultural, socioeconomic, you name it, the best business plan is a happy customer and positive cash flow. Thank you very much, Willem.
Thanks, Werner. Always nice to catch up with you. I appreciate it.
Enjoy. Bye.
A very informative session. We hope you enjoyed it. Please take the next few minutes to network and visit our exhibition booths. We'll see you soon.